financial stability is key to living a successful and fulfilling life. However, many people struggle to make ends meet and find themselves living paycheck to paycheck. According to a survey conducted by Bankrate, 40% of Americans have less than $300 in savings, while 50% have less than $600 in savings. That's 50%. As Anthony emphasized on this episode, it's important to understand the difference between your wants and needs.
We try to act like we have more than what we actually have. And there's nothing wrong with not having those things. Be okay with the season that you're in. Learn what you need to learn in the season that you're in.
He also dives into why it's important to take steps to ensure that you are not only meeting your mandatory expenses, but also building wealth and preparing for emergencies.
You're not operating out of wisdom. You're not thinking about the future. You're only thinking about today. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna get to tomorrow and you're not prepared for what tomorrow may bring. You have to do this now.
Before we hop into today's episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, let's hop into today's show.
What are the 10 worst things you can do with your income in 2023? We're going to talk about it right now. I don't want to get straight into it. Here's the very first thing you could do. That is the worst thing. Let me say this again. The worst thing you could do with your income in 2023. That is live with a paycheck-to-paycheck mindset. And I'll be honest with you all, I remember when I was in my 20s and I didn't really understand how to identify the needs versus my wants. Let me say this again. I didn't really understand how to identify the things that I desired, the things that were pretty cool, versus the things that I actually want. You understand what I'm saying? I need a car, but I wanted a BMW. I need a roof over my head, but I wanted the 2-story condo, the 2-story townhome, or the big old luxury apartment. I needed to eat, but I didn't have to go to Red Lobster at that time back in the 2000s. You see, what I'm noticing is that a lot of people, the reason why 80% of American people are living paycheck to paycheck is not just because of the lack of income. It is because of the lack of wisdom and knowledge to identify the needs versus the wants. And what I would highly recommend for the year of 2023 is to make sure, watch this, that you are writing down, get a sheet of paper, okay, get you a notepad, and write down, sit down and write it down. Hey, what do I need? You need to eat, you need this, you need that, you need this. And also write down some of the things that you want, you know? There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I want certain things. There's nothing wrong with that. And here's the thing. You're going to get some of the things that you want this year in 2023. I believe it. I speak that over your life. Because this is not all about work hard Monday through Friday, go through labor so that everyone else can have fruit of your labor, but you don't get to enjoy the fruit of your labor. That's not what I'm saying. But some of the worst things we could do is live with a paycheck-paycheck mindset. And so how do we kind of switch? Watch this. The paycheck-to-paycheck mindset is, number one, you got to identify where you are going in life. What do you want in life? What do you desire in life? What's the trajectory of where you are going? Do you want to make more income? Should you make more income? You have this job, and let's say you like this job. But one of the things I'm noticing is that sometimes we settle for subpar income. Ooh, we are content with mediocrity. We are okay with just a little. We're okay with loans are mortgages paid, loans are rent paid, loans my car that's 10, 15 years old, loans is still kicking. I don't even care if it got AC. As long as my kids got clothes on their back, we don't need to go to Disneyland. We don't need to be able to do the things that we want to do the things that we desire to do the things we want. No. Some of us have this mindset of, As long as I got King Jesus, everything's going to be all right. And here's the truth. Everything is going to be all right. But one of the reasons why I feel people live paycheck to paycheck, number one, is because they're not being good stewards of what they have. Number two is that people are not willing, or they don't know how to make extra income. They don't know what are the tools, what are the skills needed to make extra income. And so one of the ways to stop living paycheck to paycheck is to get some extra income, is to get some extra money that goes towards your lifestyle. You know, did you know that the number one rising small type of business is content creators? Content creators, when I talk about content creators, these are authors, these are speakers, these are YouTubers, these are podcasters, these are individuals who are saying, you know what, I've been through life, I've gone through that divorce, and now I want to help other people avoid going through divorces. I've been through pregnancy scares, and now I want to help other people get through pregnancy scares. I've been through that abusive relationship, and now I want to create content and inspire people and help them avoid that space. You know, I've gone through being in debt. Now I want to get into the financial world and help people avoid that. I've built wealth, and now I want to help people, teach people how to build wealth. I've gone through life, and now I want to share my life story with people. Do you know that these content creators are making 6 figures a year? Some content creators are making $500,000 to $1 million a year. Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with about 100 plus personal brand people who are content creators, and they've built businesses as anywhere from $1 million up to like $20 million a year. And you know, last year, my company and I had the opportunity to break the 7-figure mark, where my company, the Neatness Network, we brought in 7 figures, over $1 million in income, and we've been able to employ over 5 full-time people. And a part of me is like, as much as I want to help people get out of debt, I also understand I got to help people get out of the paycheck to paycheck mindset by helping them get more income. And so this week, I am offering a free workshop that I want to encourage you to come to. It's called the Personal Brand Masterclass. This is going to be the step-by-step training on how to build your brand and your reputation so that you can make more impact and income in your life. The key thing that I'm going to be teaching you is you can't just chase income and sustain that income if you're not making impact, if you're not building influence. And so this week, I'm going to walk you through 4 crucial steps on how myself and these other multimillionaires have built huge impact that has also generated huge income. And I want to help you get some income in your life. All you got to do is go to anthonyoneal.com/masterclass, anthonyoneal.com/masterclass, to register for 100% free. And you're going to be able to walk away with something that you can apply today instantly, and how you can start building this brand. So listen, if we're going to get out of this paycheck mindset, number one, we got to start stewarding what God has given us. We got to identify the needs and our wants. And number 3, we got to bring in some extra income. Don't get a second job. How about you be the second source of income? How about you make another grand, $5,000? Well, we're going to walk you through. And if you can apply everything, and we're going to walk you through step by step and even hold your hand along the journey, we're going to help you get to an extra $2,000-$3,000 a month. So go to anthonyoneal.com/masterclass, and I'll see you there. Here's number 2, okay? Don't cash your check at a store. Don't cash your check at a check cashing place, because listen, you guys, it's horrible. I remember back in the days, can I be real with you all? I remember back in the days when I was trying to get out of debt. I got a job, and I overspent some money, and I went and wrote a check to a check cashing place. And they was like, hey man, you can come back and we can honestly save yourself. I had put myself into the check systems when I was young. And because I was writing bad checks, I'm gonna be real with you, I couldn't go somewhere to cash my check. Now, I think I want to say close to 80% to maybe even 90%. I haven't really checked the facts on it and the stats on it. But now the majority of companies are saying, hey, we only do direct deposit. So a lot of people are not really doing that, but there are some people who are still giving checks. And a recent study came out and showed that just to get your check cash at a store, you're paying almost 10%. You're giving away 10% of your income to cash your check. Listen, you guys, in 2023, we're getting away from that. You're going to have your check automatically deposit into your checking account. Don't do liquor stores. Don't do payday loan advances. Don't do none of that stuff. Get your behind out of check systems if you're in check systems. And what I really want to make sure that you do is I really want to make sure that you lock in to where you can really start positioning yourself to where you can get a checking account and a savings account. All right. Which leads me into number 3. And it's that one of the worst things you could do this year is not have an emergency fund. We are in the middle of 1/3 of the world possibly going through a recession this year. We are literally in the middle of inflation. We are still dealing with issues from COVID, right? As you can see, Amazon and companies are letting people go. If you do not have an emergency fund, no, you are in the wrong position. You are not, how do I say this? You're not operating out of wisdom. You're not thinking about the future. You're only thinking about today. And what's going to happen is you're going to get to tomorrow and you're not prepared for what tomorrow may bring. You have to do this now. You have to start saving for emergencies. You got to start saving for things that you're not aware of what may come. You guys know me, I still follow the Ramsey principles, and I really do believe that you should have the bare minimum of $1,000 put into a savings account for emergencies ASAP. ASAP. With the cost of inflation right now, the bare minimum is $1,000, but if you want to stretch that to $2,000, that's cool. Your emergency fund is not made to make you comfortable. No, the emergency fund is you have enough to get there, but you should really start focusing on getting out of debt, building wealth, and really position yourself up to win. Did you know that 40% of Americans have less than $300 in their savings account? And 50% of Americans have less than $600 in their savings account. Do you have money in your savings account? I was thinking about that. Do you have money in your savings account? Listen, it doesn't need to be invested. Here's the bottom line. I don't want you to worry about investing your income. It needs to be liquid and in cash. Okay, you're not trying to make a lot of money off of this investment. You are solely trying to make sure that you have $1,000 in your emergency fund. Now, here's what I highly recommend. I highly recommend that you stack your savings in a high-yielded savings account. In a high-yielded savings account. Listen, every week, my team and I, we push out the top savings accounts, or at least once a month, we push out the top savings account. And the only way to get that list is if you join our email list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link to join our email list, our family in the emails, to where you could be a part of that and get this updated list from us at least once a month. And so listen, we're going to be pushing this out. Click the link in today's show notes, and I promise you, you'll be grateful to get this list. So if you want to know where should you park your money, what are the best savings account that you should look into today, right? We are updating this list every single month, and we only push this out in our email list. So get on this list. It's free. We're giving out a lot of information, and I promise you'll thank me later, because there's some high yield savings account paying anywhere from 2%, 3%. I even saw one up to 4% that is FDIC insured, so it protects your money. So again, we're not trying to make a lot of money here, but hey, if it's going to sit there, right, then we might as well get some investment from it. We might as well get something from it, all right? So here's number 4. Don't spend all your money on you. I'm going to say that one more time. Don't spend all your money on you. Can I be honest with you? Can I just be very honest with you and frank? 2022, I started buying more name brand clothes. I'm pretty sure some of y'all saw it, right? And a part of me was like, it was good because I had the money. I was like, dang, man, I just spent $1,000 on this shirt. Let's be real. Dang, man, I just spent $300 on these shoes. And I would like to say maybe towards the last quarter of 2023, I was like, man, you could be blessing some people. There's something wrong with having the nice things. I was able to buy a nice watch. I was able to buy some nice clothes. But towards the last part of the year, I was like, man, how can I be more of a blessing? I want the nice things. Don't get it twisted. I'm still going to have nice things. I work hard for it. I'm going to have the nice things. But one thing I've noticed that wealthy people, they've built wealth by not just keeping a lot, but also by giving away a lot. One of my good friends, he was on our show here recently, Ryan Leak, and he said, man, my goal is not about how much income can I bring in, it's about how much money can I give away. How much money can I give away? And in the last quarter of the year, I felt convicted. I felt real convicted. My church is in the middle of building a brand new building, and I attend, I believe, one of the greatest churches in America, Union Church here in the DMV area and in Charlotte as well. So if you're in the Charlotte area, I would highly encourage you to check out Union Church Charlotte or Union Church Maryland. And my pastor and our leadership team there, because we were growing so fast, we have everything, man. We give away so much in the local city. We have a school, and we have, football teams, track teams, and we support so much here in the local city. Probably one of the most giving churches I've been a part of. And our pastors, Pastor Stephen Chandler and Zai Chandler, announced that, hey, they want to build and actually own our own building and make it the main location and put our school there, put our track course there for our students, and just really have our own spot. And he was like, hey, man, we want to invite you to be a part of this journey. And I was like, man. So the last quarter of the year, I committed to a large amount of money over the next 3 years to help them build the building. And I'll be honest with you all, I gave them a check for $100,000. For $100,000 to my local church. And I'll tell you, man, it was a faith move. But when I cut that check, man, I came home and I cried. You know why I cried? Not because the money left my account, but I cried because I felt like now I'm putting my money to work. Like, my money actually matters. And it's bigger than just me. I know a lot of people say, well, tithing, that goes towards the pastor so he can drive nice cars. You know what? I'll be frank with you. My pastor deserves to drive a nice car, because for years he didn't drive a nice car. But neither here or there. I'm not giving my money to the pastor. I'm giving my money to the kingdom. And I'm trusting that God will convict the hearts of the leadership team to make the right decisions with the money. Because the Bible says it is better to give than it is to receive. And I said, you know what? I want to be a giver. Not only did I give away $100,000 to my local church, but I also gave away $25,000 out to just my local community, out to homeless people, out to single mothers for Thanksgiving. I gave away over $10,000 just on Thanksgiving alone. Well, not I, my company did, right? Because I've learned that if God can trust me with this income, one of the worst things I can do is keep it all for myself. And can I say this, just to be real with you? This is not about showboating. This is about encouraging you that, hey, if we're going to pray and ask God to enlarge our territory, if we're going to pray and ask God to give us that pay raise, to give us that dream home, and we never gave anything back to him, God can't trust you with that. The Bible says give 10%. Bring 10% to the storehouse, to the church. I gave my 10%. Gave another $100,000. Then gave another $25,000 out to other people. Why? Because I want God to know If you make me a multi-millionaire, I'm going to give away millions. How do I give away millions? Hey, real quick, when you're feeling your best, did you know you can actually take on the world and accomplish anything you want and anything you set your mind to? But sometimes life can get in the way and you may start to feel overwhelmed or like you're not showing up as the best version of yourself. That's where therapy can come in. By working with a licensed therapist, you can get closer to being the best version of yourself and feel more empowered to handle whatever life throws your way. If you're considering giving therapy a try, which I highly suggest, BetterHelp is a fantastic option. You see, it's convenient, it's flexible, it's affordable, it's gonna fit inside of your budget, and it's all done online, fam. Simply fill out a brief questionnaire to be matched with a licensed therapist, and here's the thing, you can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge. If you want to live a more empowered and fulfilling life, therapy can help get you there. And right now, because you are my family, you can get 10% off your first month when you visit anthonyoneal.com/therapy. Again, that's anthonyoneal.com/therapy. You can get the link in today's show notes. But hey, take the first step towards a better you. Now, here's the second step. Let's get back to the show, because I know it's a good one. So, one of the worst things you can do in 2023 is keep all the money to yourself, y'all. Find someone to give. Find a local church, find a nonprofit, find a family who needs something. One of the things I told my team is, with me being, yes, the owner and the CEO of my company, I sat down with all of them and said, hey, listen, my goal is all of you all make six figures. All of you all make six figures. And so we put place to where everyone, they can eventually get to six figures. They got a salary, they got incentives to get there. They got commissions on top of that, because I don't want to be the only one winning in this company. I want to see my squad winning. I want to see them winning. So if you have a business and you're making all this money, but then your team is struggling to live working for you, heck no. Heck no. No. One of my most recent team members, she just recently joined the team. Michelle, y'all met her. Y'all saw her earlier today. And she's such a sweet, sweet young lady. And her first thing that she said she wanted to get paid, I was like, wait, what? Even my creative director, I was like, yeah, we can't do it like that. And even I said, I was like, I can't do it like that. Then she came back after doing some research. She's like, hey, you guys, I'm gonna need this. I was like, okay, cool, great. And I still gave her more money than she said she needed. Because I want my team to know I'm going to pay you the very best that I can with the skill set that you have, but then also put incentives in place because I am a giver. And if you earn more and you make this company more money by helping us impact more lives first, that then produces and rewards us with income, I'm not going to be the only person that eats. You're going to eat too. So business owners, let's not be selfish. Let's impact our team members' lives as well. Here's number 5. One of the worst things you could do in 2023 is hide from your bills. I get it. Some of you may be struggling with the income. This is exactly why I want you to get and join me this week when it comes to, learning how to build some extra income on the side. Let me say this. I get it. Anthony, I need more income. Hey, fam, you've been through something. God fearfully and wonderfully put something on the inside of you. Why are you scared to talk about it? Let my team and I walk you through on how you can be making $2,000 from your story, from your journey, from your testimony. I don't care if you're 20 years old or 70 years old. You can and you will be wealthy from your job and from doing something on the side. Because you should not be hiding from your bills, especially if it's an income problem. I can show you how to put $1,000 in your pocket within the next 3 days. I can do it. So when it comes to hiding from your bills, there are four main things that I really want you to focus on. And that's your mandatory bills. That's going to be your food. You got to eat. You got to stay healthy. That's going to be your utilities. You got to have lights on. You got to have heat. It's cold right now. I don't know where you are. But in D.C., boy, it's 30 degrees out here. You need heat. You need heat. When it's 100 degrees outside, you need AC. You got to take care of that stuff. After that, you need a roof over your head. Okay? So you're going to take care of your house. And then transportation. Don't run from these bills. Don't hide from them. If money is the problem, jump on my workshop this week and let me show you how to start making money with the gifts and the skills that's on the inside of you. But don't run from them. You have to pay your mandatory bills on time. And let me talk to the single people. Come in. Let me lean a bit closer. Let me talk to you real quick. All right. Listen, don't choose dating. Don't choose lifestyle. Don't choose luxury stuff. Don't choose the purse, that hair, those nails over you taking care of your freaking responsibilities. Can I be real with you? I did it. I would choose taking her out to eat. I would choose sending her flowers rather than taking care of my light bill. I remember talking to a chick that I sent all this stuff to, talking to her on the phone in the dark because I wanted to impress her rather than have lights on in my house. Some of y'all laughing, talking about, oh, no, I would never do that. Man, please, be quiet. You may not have let your lights go off, but you chose this over something that was priority before. You chose going on spring break rather than paying your car note. You chose doing this over something that is a mandatory priority in your life. As a matter of fact, I want to see who can keep it a buck with me. If you're watching this on YouTube, type it into the comments. Let me know, you know what? I actually did. I actually chose doing something else, impressing someone else over taking care of my responsibilities at that time. I'm not saying you're doing it right now, but have you done it in the past? I know I have. And daggone it, I know at least 75% of y'all watching right now have. And I'm gonna take it a step further. About 25 to 30% of you all are doing it right now in this season. And you need to stop that. You need to stop it. Stop. Here's number 6. One of the worst things you can do in 2023 is stay in debt. If 80% of us are living paycheck to paycheck, if 73% of millionaires never held a penny of credit card debt, why are you? Anthony, but I want to leverage my credit score. I want to leverage the debt to make more wealth. Wait a minute. Respectfully, that doesn't make sense to me. I want to go borrow $200,000, have this debt to go do all this stuff. I want to be able to have approval for all this stuff over here, have all this headache and all this stuff over here so I can make more money. Can I just be real with y'all, man? Oh my gosh, I'm about to upset some people. Y'all ain't leveraging nothing. When I hear that, and can I be real with you? There are some, I want to say maybe 5 to 10%, maybe 10, 5 to 10% of people who are actually leveraging debt in a way that is, I would say, okay. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's the best. No. But 90% of the people, 90% of people who talk about, let me leverage debt. Let me get this credit card for an emergency. Let me get this credit card so I can put all the points on there and do all this type of stuff. Let me go get this car because I'm only paying 3% in interest and da-da-da-da. Man, y'all ain't leveraging nothing. You're buying the things that you want to buy. You're living in the houses you can't afford to live in. You're driving the cars you can't afford to drive. You're financing the things that you can't afford to pay for cash. Just so you can look a certain kind of way. Just so you can say you have this. I remember talking to one person. He went out there and leveraged his credit score to get $250,000. I said, why'd you get it? Oh, just because. What the heck? What? What? Listen, y'all. Debt is destroying your wealth. And can I keep it a buck with you? Black people, it's hurting us worse than it's hurting white people. Student loan debt is preventing black people from actually going out there and getting mortgages. The number one asset, the number one tool that is used to build wealth, home ownership. We can't even get into home ownership because we're drowning in debt. The system has taught us, go get student loan debt, go get an education, and you're going to be well. No. Education is important. Education is important. But why in the heck are you getting a 4-year degree to go in a trade? No, go to a tech school, go to a trade school that you're going to spend a quarter of the price, if that, come out making a lot of money.
Okay, trade school versus college. This is a big debate, but I actually agree with Anthony on this point. A lot of people don't necessarily consider trade school because it's not the sexy route to take. And oftentimes after high school, you're really not told about trade school. But I will say this, trade school can cost you a fraction of the cost as college, oftentimes a fraction of the time, and sometimes triple the amount of money that you can make right when you get out of college. The thing about trade school is that you can automatically get out of school and use your hands and get to work right away. Well, oftentimes, coming out of college, they're asking for all this experience. So I would like you to consider maybe think about trade school.
Go into Bethel Tech if you want to get in the tech industry. Go into a trade school if you want to be a carpenter, a welder, a plumber, whatever that is. Right now, those industries are paying more money. My homeboy is a welder and he's making $150,000. My homeboy, I got another homeboy who's a plumber. He stay busy making $100-something on his own. What? I'm paying my grass guy almost $100 every week to come out and cut my grass. Nobody wants to put in the hard work. We want to go sit in the AC, get that degree, get charged $125,000, wait on the president of the United States of America to cancel all the debts. So we be like, oh. And so we can go out here and get a job paying us $50,000. So you paid $100,000 to make $50,000. When you got people going to tech school, Bethel Tech, paying what, $16,000 for a 9-month program, coming out making $100. You got people going to course careers, paying $450 to learn how to sell for tech companies, coming out making $100,000 a year plus PTO, plus unlimited PTO and unlimited benefits. What? You got people like myself. You got 18-year-olds. Man, let me tell y'all something. I met an 18-year-old that is worth. Watch this. He is worth $20 million. Content creation. Content creation. I just interviewed a young lady by the name of Jayla Coriel, at my mastermind event. She makes $20,000 a month. She's a YouTuber, sharing her story. No college debt, none of that stuff. This is why I'm telling you. You want to build wealth? You got to get out of debt. And you do not have to go out there and manage and use debt to build wealth. No, how about you just use your brains? Use your brains. One of the worst things you can do is stay in debt. Here's number 7. Remember, I told you earlier, one of the worst things you could do is not have a starter emergency fund. One of the worst things you could do in 2023 is spend all of your money today. One of the worst things you could do is spend every single dime you get on your paycheck today. How is it that we work Monday through Friday? We go in, we push all this stuff, and we work for, our bosses. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, we go out, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, we go out, we pay the bills, and we go out to the club. We go out and go shopping. We go buy all the nice things. When we come back home, we put nothing in the savings account. We put nothing into the savings account. We're not prepared for a full-blown emergency. Earlier, I said $1,000, $2,000 is a great start emergency because 50% of people don't even have $500, $600 in their savings account. I recommend that you have the minimum of 3 to 6 months of your expenses set aside into a high-yielded savings account. So the worst thing you do this year is not positioning yourself to have at least 3 to 6 months of expenses inside of your savings account. And if you really want to stretch it, I'll be honest with you all, I started off with, okay, let me get 3 months of expenses. Then say, let me step up and get 6 months of expenses. Then I say, let me step up and get 3 months of my average salary. Then say, I just got there. Let me get 6 months of my salary. And because I teach personal finance, I say, let me get 6 figures just sitting in my savings account. Because I want to make sure that if life was to happen, that myself and my company is at least taken care of for a while. So on the personal side, because I have no debt but my mortgage payment, I can live off of that for at least a good year. Because I position myself to be good. I'm thinking about tomorrow. What if something tomorrow happened? Or what if something happened tomorrow? Are you thinking like that? You can't afford to not think like that if you have a child. You can't afford to not think like that if you have a spouse. You can't afford to not think like that if you really love yourself. And like I told you earlier, if you really want to learn what are the best high-yielded savings account to park your money in, I want you to join our email family. Once a week, every Friday at about 12 o'clock, we send out a free just email of informations, inspiration, and practical companies, banks, resources you should look into to help you with your wealth journey. Okay? And so we're going to drop that link in today's show notes so that way you can take care of it. But, what kind of emergencies should you be preparing for? Lack of food, utilities, housing issues, insurance issues, maybe gas, clothing, car issues, you name it. We are preparing for that. Here's number 8. One of the worst things you cannot afford to miss out on this year, and that's investing. Okay? That's really investing into your future. You need to really start saving your money to start building wealth. And it's not really, I don't really think you can save to wealth. I think you can invest and make wise decisions to wealth, right? Saving your wealth means like every paycheck you put $100 away. It's going to take you a long time to build wealth there. When I hear people say you can save yourself to wealth, no. You can save, you can invest, and you can make the right decisions by maybe starting a business on the side. To wealth. But one of the key things to building wealth is investing, you guys. It is investing. And one of the key things that you all can do, especially for those of you all who have jobs, one of the key things that you need to look into is maximizing your 401ks. And here's the strategy that I teach everyone when it comes to the 401k. Number one, you're going to look for your match. That's the first and the best thing. So if your company is saying, hey, for the first 5%, we'll match you the first 5%, first 3%, first 7%, whatever that is, you want to maximize on their match. Then after the match, you can look for a Roth. Does your company offer a Roth 401k? A Roth simply means that it is after you're investing money after it was already taxed. You can't be taxed twice. So this means that as your money is growing tax-free. And what I love about Roth is as we are getting older and wiser and we're making more money, well, our tax bracket is going to go up too. So why not get taxed at the low tax bracket? So when you go and you get older, you're making more money, hopefully. You're not paying the tax bracket at that level. Then after Roth is traditional. Okay? So listen, I'm going to break this down. How do we get to $1 million? So it'd be about, let's say, let's break this down as an average age of 33. Here's an average age of 33. If you're 33 years old, the average income of a 33-year-old is about $40,352 right now in America. It's the average income. Okay, so the average investment is going to be about $500. 30 years of investing $500. This is 30 years later. After 33, you should be about 65 years old. You have $1.3 million in your investment account. $1.3 million. Okay. Now, what if, watch this now, watch this. What if you gave up coffee? That's an extra $370. Let's say the average person goes to Starbucks every single day to get coffee Monday through Friday. What if you set that $10 aside and added that on top of the $500? That's an extra $307,000 on top of that investment. They say the average single person, or average person in general, I would say, is going to go to restaurants. So what if you just took the average meals out? Stop eating out. You eat at home, you go grocery shopping, you eat at home, and then you stop investing into all this extra stuff every single week. Still go out, maybe on the weekend, go to date night, stuff like that, but you're not eating out for lunch, you're not eating out for dinner, and you're not getting coffee. That's an extra $480,000. That's an extra $480,000. Wow. Wow. Add that on to 1.3. That's about what? It's right about $2 million that you could have at the age 65 if you start investing right now. Listen, in our email that we present every week, we give out some of the top investing strategies. What are some good stocks you should be looking into? What are the best strategies to start investing? The theme today is we want to give and we want to be a blessing to you. So again, this is another reason of why you should continue to join our email list, because I want to help you get there. Here's the last two. Number 9. It's one of the worst things you do is act fake rich. I've been there. I've definitely been there. I remember getting the BMW when I was only making, I think, like $30,000 that year. And I was like, man, I can't afford this car. You know, I remember taking a young lady to the restaurant. Actually, let me just be very real with y'all. I remember when I got my first credit card. Not my first credit card, it was my second credit card. I got my second credit card. There's this hotel in LA called the London Hotel. Back in the 2000s, man, it was jumping. I remember, I'm just being transparent with you all. I remember at that time I was working for the collection agency. So I was making $28,000 a year with bonuses. So maybe about 40, I would clear about $40,000 a year. The London Hotel at that time for one night was like $600 a night. I went and got it for the whole weekend, did room service, rented a Mustang top down, picked her up. I said, girl, pack your clothes. I looked at it just like that. Girl, pack your clothes. I'm taking you somewhere this weekend. I said, as a matter of fact, I want you to pack a bikini, 2-piece. We going somewhere. The rental car by itself was $1,000. The hotel by itself came up to about $1,600. The food that we ordered, room service, added on to that. We went out to dinner every night. We was up there. The whole weekend cost me about $4,000. When I didn't even make $4,000 in a month. I was only making maybe about $1,500, $1,600 a month. I remember my check was like maybe like $800 every 2 weeks. What? I was still living with my parents at the time. But I wanted her to think I had that bag. That credit card ended up in collections. And I'll be real with you all. There's a lot of people out here, we try to act like we have something than we have. Let me say that again. I'm gonna say it right. We try to act like we have more than what we actually have. And there's nothing wrong with not having those things. Be okay with the season that you're in. Learn what you need to learn in the season that you're in. I am not a multimillionaire. I am okay with that. You know why? Because I'm around other multimillionaires learning what I need to learn. I don't have a multi-million dollar business. I don't have an 8-figure business. That's okay. I'm not going to act like I do. Because you know why? I'm around people who are making 8 figures a month. I'm a part of this amazing mastermind group called the Wellspring. And the Wellspring is a bunch of Christian influencers who are making anywhere between $1 million in their company up to $100 million a year. These are people who are making $1 million a week, $1 million, $2 million a month. I'm around them guys. I am not acting like I'm making that. No, I'm in $1 million a month. But how do I? I'm acting like Anthony Bernard O'Neill, and I walk up in that joint, I'm like, I'm doing something, but I could do better. You making 40,000, 30,000, 50,000? You better walk around like I'm doing something, but I'm hungry to do better. And I'm okay with that. And brother, if she don't want to date you because you making $42,000 a year, let her behind go. Walk with pride. Walk with I'm the guy who God fearfully and wonderfully made me to be. But also understand you can do more. And God wants you to do more. And here's the last thing. And I'm in it right here. One of the worst things we can do this year. Let's say we get out of debt. We start making this money. We start the business. You all jump on my masterclass, my workshop this week, and you learn how to make some extra money. You're making an extra $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 by this time next year, right? And we have all this stuff. Everything is good. Everything is starting to look good. But we don't leave nothing for our families. We don't leave our families with wealth possibilities. We don't leave our families with the wisdom of what it takes to grow our wealth. What am I saying? One of the worst things you can do this year is to not build something for legacy. Dude, that's so good. One of the worst things we can do this year is not put our families in position to win after we pass. They say the first generation of a family builds and makes the wealth. The second generation somewhat maintains it. It's the third generation that loses it. I want to make sure that my great-grandchildren are not losing the money. They're winning with the money. I'm documenting my journey now on how the things that I'm learning. 2022, we had a great year, but I made a lot of mistakes. Can I be real with you? I probably made more mistakes than I made the right decisions. I'm being real. But I learned from those mistakes that have put me in a position to where I can go ask someone who's stronger and wiser than me on, hey, how can I pivot? What should I do? What should I have done? And what can I do? And now I've learned from those mistakes and we're moving forward. Because my thing now at 38, I'll be 39 this year. I'm almost 40. I'm like, now I'm starting to think of, okay, what foundation am I laying for my family and how can I set my family to win? Not just my wife and my children, but what can I leave for my niece and my nephews? Or what can I leave for my church and my community? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind, Anthony O'Neill? If I was to pass next year, what kind of legacy am I leaving? We cannot afford to not think about legacy. I get it, you 25 years old and you think you got time. Baby girl, baby boy, you ain't got a lot of time. I speak and I believe that we will all live as long as we possibly can, but no man or woman knows the time or the day of when God is going to call us home. And so I want to encourage you to start thinking about the legacy that you're leaving behind. You may not be able to leave a lot of money behind, but what kind of love can you leave behind? What wisdom can you leave behind? And daggone it, if you're part of my family, my community, we're leaving some money behind. We're leaving a business behind for our families. So listen, I hope I will see you this week for our free workshop, max 45 minutes long. I want to help you position yourself to be a legacy builder, to build wealth, and I want to help you get out of debt. So I hope I'll see you this week at our free workshop. It's a step-by-step plan on how you yourself can be impactful and be rewarded with a lot of income so that you can do the things that you desire to do when you desire doing with whomever you desire to do them with. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'll see you in the next show. Peace out.